everyone, and welcome to this episode of Soul Seeds, where my guest expert for today is Mindy. And Mindy is a healer and a magic finder, and I'm in love with that term. So, and the topic we are going to discuss today is family mindfulness. So, hi, Mindy. Thank you for
Hi,
being here.
how are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. Now,
Good.
I'm happy that you're here with me. I would love to know, like, as I can think of that, especially when you have a family with quite young kids, that it can be quite a hard thing or difficult thing to be mindful, especially to teach your kids that. So how do you do that?
I have done it through the years. I'm fortunate now. My sons are a little bit older.
Mm,
But as they've aged and they've grown, I've discovered and learned how important mindfulness and being aware and teaching them how to
mm,
be aware really, it's such an important thing that I don't feel is out there enough yet. We
mm,
talk about personal mindfulness, but
right.
being mindful as a family, it's just, it's so important.
It shifts
Um,
it to another level, I think.
Absolutely. There's the words I was looking for. uh, with younger kids, it is definitely difficult. It's hard to get them. I mean, especially if your children are in age where temper tantrums are still a
Mm,
thing,
right.
where allowing yourself to be present and experiencing everything for what it is and letting them feel their feels
Hmm.
and work through it. But by giving them the language that is going to help them through.
Hmm.
I'm a martial arts instructor. I teach actually preschool karate.
Hmm.
And one of the things I love teaching is I talk to even the littlest ones. We meditate in class.
Mm,
And we talk about what it feels like inside when we're frustrated, when we're
mm.
angry, when we're happy, when we're excited.
Or that's to create that connection between your emotions and what is happening in your physical body.
They don't always understand it. That the littlest
Right.
ones, they know what it feels like, but they don't know the words. They
Mm,
don't know why is it I'm feeling like this. And
right.
I talk a lot with them about, yes, it's absolutely 100% okay to have these feelings, but what happens when your emotions go too far, when you're too excited?
Hmm.
Now you might not to do that special fun thing you were going to do because you're so excited you got in trouble.
Mm, right.
And by making them aware of these feelings and these emotions, and then the parents are hearing it too as I'm teaching them,
Right.
they're all starting to understand it. My youngest son has been a user of the English language for full paragraphs by
Hmm.
18 months old, but
Wow.
he had these big emotions.
Hmm.
And now that he's 15, those emotions are still big.
Hmm.
And he had to learn what it was and what the words were. He couldn't just get upset and start crying because I don't know what that means.
Right.
I want to help you. I want to be there for you, but just screaming and yelling and getting upset isn't helping the process.
Mm,
Tell me why you're feeling what you're doing. And yes, as a parent, when we're getting frustrated, it's hard to sit back and ask these questions. It's
right.
hard to, I mean, you have to sometimes pretend you want to know the answer when you
Mm.
really just want them to be done.
We, especially when you're like in a social place in the supermarket or at a park and you're like, not good timing.
Yeah, can we not have a scene right now, please? I don't want this right
I
now.
don't have time for this right now. I have an appointment to get to.
But by teaching them and going through this whole paying attention of how you're feeling, letting them understand, no, everything will be okay. Right now, we have to deal with this. In a moment, we can go and do what it is we need to do.
Hmm.
It has definitely, it has helped. Like was saying, my son being 15, my other son 17, their general awareness of, I mean, they have the teenage but their general awareness is a little bit more present.
Mm.
They're understanding, they can be aware of people around them a little bit more. My older son actually told me it recently that he finds it weird that other people aren't aware of other people. He's like, when I'm having a conversation with someone and my teacher's snapping at me or something, he's like, I find it weird that people aren't like, oh, I wonder what happened did something happen at home today? Is she stressed from something else?
Right, right.
And I was taken aback that he was aware of this.
But it
And
builds empathy, right?
and he was allowing himself to be present
Mm,
and understand that, okay, I can't take this personally.
right.
I just have to understand something might be going on and we'll move on from this.
Mm,
It's just watching the growth through them is really interesting. But it
mm,
also, the family mindfulness makes those moments that we are together as a family
mhm,
and we are doing things together, whether it's raking leaves
mhm,
or going out for the day, we are present in those moments.
mm,
We are all guilty. We will check our phone from time to time.
mhm,
But for the most part, our phones are only present when we're not, like, if we're driving in the car and listening to music, they're good. But once we get someplace, everything's
mhm,
away and our focus is what we're doing together at that time.
And how needed is that in this society?
Absolutely. We've we've connected, but we've disconnected. And I
Mm,
think it needs to reverse. We need to disconnect from the phone and connect back with each other, where
mhm,
we're so plugged in and everything has an immediate response. It's taking the time and being
right.
with each other differently.
It's almost like taking a step back and not just constantly like just reacting, but taking the time to respond in a accurate, well, not much an accurate way, but like you said, an aware, a mindful way.
Yeah. And learning those steps as a family
Hmm.
it's been an interesting. I was the one who started working with mindfulness.
Hmm.
Um, I was at the beginning of the pandemic. I really gave myself time to focus and grow on these things a little bit. And I
Hmm.
started noticing that as I was practicing it more, what I was practicing was starting to rub off on the people around me.
Hmm.
And then as they started practicing it more, it was rubbing off on me a little bit more. And
Hmm.
it was a fun back and forth.
Hmm.
It wasn't a standoffish back and forth. It was a, oh, wait, we're actually gonna sit in the room together and just be silent.
Oh, yeah. And
And we're
not feel
actually,
like you have to make conversation.
yeah, my husband used to call me the silence breaker. We would be in the car driving and I would have to have a conversation going. And
Right.
I recently noticed that I don't need to do that so much anymore. We can
Mm.
just be together in each
Mm.
other's presence and we don't have to just fill the silence, fill the gaps.
But to me, that has also to do with like self-acceptance. Like I'm okay as I am, and I can be quiet. I don't have to feel that emptiness around me.
Yeah. And showing my children and showing the younger generations that this is okay,
Hmm.
they're going to start opening up and being a little bit more aware to it and things like that as well.
Mm. And what if there is still a resistance from like one family member who, what do can you do then?
My advice would be just keep practicing it. Try not to
Mhm.
like shove it down their throat,
Yeah,
maybe,
no
but
forcing.
continue practicing it and it will start rubbing off.
Hmm.
You'll start seeing changes and coming around and just different shifts happening.
Hmm. And what are some of the like techniques or ways that you can really add mindfulness to your everyday life as a ritual routine?
First, disconnecting,
Hmm.
putting the phone away, being present in the space that you're in, and just being aware of what's going on. Not the 20 questions that us as parents have a tendency of, oh,
Hmm.
how was your day? What was your day like? What did you do today? How was school? What did you do? Just kind of being in the space and
Hmm.
letting it kind of happen. I mean, we're going to still do that. We're still going to ask how the day was,
Right.
but instead of forcing the conversation to happen, see what flows from the conversation, see what they're willing to bring to you, whether it's your spouse, your significant other, or a child, as to what they did today or how they're feeling or
Hmm.
those things. The other one is with your youngest ones, it's going to be harder at times, but it's actually going to be easier because they're going to get so used to these
Mhm,
conversations. It's just going to happen. But it's give their emotions words, give their feelings
mhm,
words, and in a way you're validating it without just pushing it off. It's
mhm,
not a, oh, you're in a bad mood. Why are you in a bad? Oh, that's why you're in a bad mood. Okay, get over it.
mhm.
It's
Or let's
okay,
fix it. Right.
yeah. Oh, what's going on? Oh, oh, you're actually hungry?
Mhm,
Oh, let's go have a snack together and talk about what it felt like, why you got so upset that you were hungry, and
mm,
just kind of guiding them.
mm. Yeah, creating space for their feelings and the expression of those feelings, but also for ourselves, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely opens. Now it allows me, I'm a very emotional person, and if
Mhm,
I'm getting upset or I'm frustrated or whatever it is, I can now take a step back and be like, hang on a minute, and
mhm,
even verbalize it to them. Hang on a minute. I'm getting really frustrated right now and I don't know why.
mm.
Let me see what's going on real quick and then
Yeah,
go back and involve them in the conversation. Oh, I got frustrated because I
right.
didn't realize we were out of milk and now I have to figure out how to get milk today.
Mhm. Yeah, because we have a tendency, I think, to label emotions quite quickly. Even like so-called bad emotions aren't really necessarily bad. We just have to
Yes.
allow them to be
Yeah. Feel your
and give ourselves
feels.
that space, give ourselves the space to figure that out.
Yeah. And it's definitely, it goes a lot with allowing yourself to take
Mm,
that space too. So it
right.
might have to start with you. It might
Mhm,
have to start with one person.
right.
And then you can start involving other people in the house, in
You
the
will
family.
inspire them by doing, really, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Mindy. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.